Welcome everyone. I'm Trish Ann and this is a beginner's yoga class. We're going to start just for a few minutes seated, so get comfortable. If you have blocks, you can get those now. If you have a bolster, feel free to get that. A blanket would be handy if you don't have blocks, just so that you can, this is Blackheart, my baby boy. He's not really a baby anymore, but so a blanket would be handy at the end for Shavasana, but also to sit up on as we do some of the seated practice that we're going to do today. Today we're going to do a slow vinyasa flow, and we're going to do a beginner's version, so the whole practice won't be flowing, but parts of it will be, just so you can get a feel for what it's like to move between poses. And poses are called asanas in yoga class. I'll call them poses, but if you hear the word asana, they mean the same thing. So vinyasa, what exactly does vinyasa mean? Vinyasa actually just means to specifically place a part of your body and or your whole body. So when I do a pose and I say, place your hand and then bring your arm up for a stretch, that's actually a vinyasa. You're coming into a pose and you're doing it very specifically with specific guidance. And then the flow part is where we make a little bit of movement between maybe this and something else. And I'll point that out as we get ready to do something like that. But vinyasa just means to be very specific and very intentional about the placement of your body as you're moving through yoga practice. Today, we are going to start in child's pose. And I typically don't start in child's pose, but today I feel like it's a great thing for us to do so that we can come into this space, this big global space that we're in together right now, so that we can come into that space and get focused and block things out maybe that are around us environmentally or in our head. So to come into child's pose, come into tabletop first, and then you're going to move your knees really wide, about mat width apart. We're going to come into a somewhat active child's pose. So we're going to bring our arms forward instead of bringing them back. And you're going to push your hips back towards your heels. And this is a good time that a blanket is handy. So if you have any issues with your feet, you can put a blanket up underneath the arched part of your ankle as you're putting the weight on them. I have a lot of issues with that, and so I'll keep a blanket back here to help with that. So you can use your blanket under your knees if your knees give you a problem. So use the props that we have at our disposal, whether they're a yoga blanket or a blanket, it doesn't matter. Just use what you have to be comfortable. So we're going to press our hands forward a little bit. We're going to press our hips back. And if you have a block or you have a blanket and you're not using it for anything else, and it's a little bit of a challenge in the beginning to get into child's pose, you can use your block to bring your forehead down to your block, or you can roll up your blanket and put your blanket underneath your head, because I want you to relax into this pose. So pressing the arms forward, but let the forearms come down on the mat. You're going to come all the way down. Take a deep breath in here, as much as you can, as you're in this fold. Take a deep breath in, hold it when you get to the top, and then exhale fully. Let everything come out of the mouth. Relax into your mat. Take another breath in. This time exhale through the nose. Slow, steady exhale. And then come into your normal breathing as you're here. Focus inward. Focus on what you're doing here today at this moment in time for yourself. Focus on your practice. Maybe think about the tapas, and that tapas is the heat of passion. Tapas is a Sanskrit word and term in some of the yamas and niyamas, which we're not going to go into now, but just know that it's that internal passion that gets you really fired up about something that you enjoy. It's the thing that actually helps us get through challenging parts when we're learning to do something new or when we're challenging ourselves in something that we already love doing and are already doing. So if you feel challenged today, just connect with that tapas, that inner passion, and that'll get you through those moments of challenge that you have today. Take another deep breath in, and as you exhale, pull forward. You're going to bring your knees back close together or hip width apart. And we're going to come up to seated onto whatever it is you have that you're going to get comfortable on. So you can get seated on a blanket, on a block, or you can just sit flat on the floor. Coming to seated up on something where the hip comes up a little bit higher is helpful because it takes the pressure off the knees, it takes the pressure off the hips, and the pressure ends up going into our legs, which is they're a little bit bigger muscle, and they can bear that weight. It's just a lot more comfortable to sit a little bit higher on something. So sit comfortable, sit nice and tall, lift the rib cage up. The spine is going to straighten and lengthen. The crown of the head is going to reach towards the ceiling, the heavens, the sky. Softly close the eyes and rest the hands on the knees or anywhere on your leg. On your legs, just let the hands rest and relax in a relaxed position. The palms can be turned up or the palms can be turned down. Take a deep breath in. On the inhale, you're going to take a slow, steady inhale. As you get to the top, hold the breath. And then through the mouth, slow and steady, exhale. Inhale in. Getting to the top, hold your breath. And exhale through the mouth, slow and steady. Again, inhale. Bring yourself back into this room if your mind wanders, or not this room, your room. If your mind is wandering, focus on the breath. If you're uncomfortable, take a moment to get yourself comfortable in your seated position, whatever it takes to make yourself comfortable. Exhale slowly through the mouth. Inhale in again. This time we're going to reach the arms, open the eyes. The arms are going to come out wide, palms together at the top, gaze towards the heavens. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale in, arms wide, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale in, arms up, palms together, and exhale, hands to heart. We're slowly and gently warming up. Take a breath in. On the exhale, dip the head forward. Let the chin come towards the chest and feel the opening across the shoulders, across the back. Inhale in and exhale again. Pulling the spine straight, lifting the rib cage, but tucking the chin towards the chest. Feel that stretch. Gently look to the left, just turning the head ever so slightly. And exhale, come back to center. Inhale, look to the right. Your head is still tucked. And exhale, come back to center. Gaze comes up. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Inhale in, arms come up overhead. On the exhale, we're going to reach out to the right. We're going to plant the right hand, but we're barely going to touch over. And we're going to, on the exhale, and we're going to inhale back up and exhale over to the other side. So we're just stretching the whole torso now. Inhale back up. Exhale over to the right again. This time, firmly plant your hand. Bend the elbow a little bit and reach further out as far as you can stretching over to the right-hand side with the left fingertips reaching forward or reaching to the side. Take a breath in here and exhale here. Inhale in, coming back up. Exhale over to the left. Same thing. Going to firmly plant that hand. Bend the elbow so you can get a longer stretch, and then pull forward with the fingertips. As you're doing these side stretches, you want to make sure to press the other side down. So press that right side down if it's trying to rise up. Feel the stretch when you do that along the side. Inhale up and exhale over to the right again. Same thing. Plant the hand, bend the elbow, get a full stretch here on your exhale. Then on this inhale, you're going to pull that left thumb and the left shoulder back a little bit. Rotate the rib cage so that it gravitates up a little bit. Your heart is radiating towards the heaven. Take a breath in here and exhale here. Inhale, roll back over, and exhale, coming back up. Inhale, reaching forward, reaching up. Exhale over to the left. Plant that hand, pressing the right hip down, bend the left elbow, reaching over to the left-hand side, stretching. And then on the inhale, the second inhale, you're going to pull that right thumb back, roll the right shoulder back, roll the rib cage open. Heart radiates upward. Take a breath here and exhale here. Inhale, roll back over, and exhale, bringing the left palm up to meet the right, reaching towards the heavens on the inhale, and exhale, hands to heart. Take a breath in. The arms are going to come halfway up. We're going to do a twist. So inhale in, and on this twist, we're going to reach the right hand around to the left knee. You can tent the fingers of the left hand back behind you and press the spine up, or you can wrap that hand and that arm around, reaching around to the right hand side. Whatever works for you. Take a breath in here and exhale here, pulling the spine straight. Set your gaze back a little bit, fully into the twist as much as you can do. Listen to your body. Inhale, coming back around to center, and exhale over to the other side. So the left hand goes to the right knee. You can do a little tent behind you with the fingertips. You can even use your blanket and put it up under your hand behind you if you need to, or you can wrap that hand all the way around. Take a breath in here and exhale here. When you exhale, use your exhales to help you more fully move into any of the movements that we're doing, and it's especially helpful when you're doing a twist. Inhale, arms come all the way up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. We're going to come into tabletop. So you can clear the mat if there's anything on the mat. You can grab your blanket and put it under your knees if you'd like. You can put your blanket underneath the tops of your feet if that's helpful. Make room for everything. And to come into tabletop, first we're going to plant our hands, and the fingertips are going to be really wide open, like jazz hands. And you're going to press into all four corners of the palms of the hands, into the pads of the fingers, and into the knuckles of the fingers. And when you press fully into your hand, that's going to pull some of that weight out of the wrist, so it makes it a little bit easier on the wrist. And at any point, if you're feeling any discomfort in your wrist, just come down into child's pose, let your wrist have a break, and then just come right back up. So the toes can be curled under to do these, or the feet can be flat. Whatever works for you, whatever you find that helps you to maintain your balance a little more. You might even move between the two, but just do either one. There's no right way or wrong way to do these. So we're going to do our core balance. And so to start, we're just going to warm up the spine, and we're going to do cat-cow. And if you've had any if you've done any yoga at all, you know about cat-cow because we all use it a lot. It's a great way to warm up the hips and warm up the spine before a practice. So the fingertips are wide apart. The wrists are underneath the shoulders. The knees are underneath the hips. So the knees are hip width apart and the wrists are shoulder width apart. Take a deep breath in. On the inhale, the pelvic floor is going to rock up a little bit. And as you do that, the belly is actually going to drop. The crown of the head comes up and the face comes forward into cow pose. Exhale, pull the belly in. The crown of the head slowly comes down. The chin comes towards the chest, arching the back all the way up, pressing into all four corners of the palms of the hands, the knuckles, the pads of the fingers, into cat pose. Inhale up. Crown comes up, the face comes forward, and exhale, pull the belly in, chin to chest, arching the back. Inhale up, and exhale, pulling the chin in. Take a breath here, and exhale, come back to neutral. Now we're going to do our balance practice. So to do this, we're going to stretch the right leg out first. So you're going to stretch it out. The toes are going to curl under, and you're just going to press back a little bit, stretching the muscles in the calves, giving the knees a little bit of relief. Bring the left hand forward. Leave the fingertips on the mat to start. Take a breath in. On the inhale, lift the leg, lift the arm, flex the foot. The toes should be pointed towards the mat. Exhale, pull the elbow in towards the knee, arching the back. Inhale, back up. Flexing the foot, exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale up, and exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale up, and exhale, coming back to tabletop. Other side. Stretching the left leg out, the toes are curled under, gently rock. Move the right hand forward, fingertips stay on the mat. Take a breath in. On the inhale, lift the arm, lift the leg. Again, the foot is flexed. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale up, toes pointing towards the mat. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale up, and exhale, elbow to knee. Take a breath in here, and exhale, release everything, coming back to tabletop. Now we're going to set up for our first downward facing dog. So your hands are going to move forward about one hand print. You can come up into tabletop two ways. You can come up one leg at a time, or you can just press back and rise up, pulling the hips up. Take a breath in to do it. Whatever works for you, come into downward facing dog. Pedal it out. And when we say pedal it out, really what we mean is bend one knee and straighten the other one, and then alternate between the legs. Your heels do not have to touch the mat. Maybe open the feet up a little bit wider. Sometimes that's a little more comfortable. And then press into the hips and lift them a little bit higher. This is a great hip opener. Bend the knees, look towards the top of the mat, and slowly walk your feet up to meet your hands. And fold when you get there. Exhale. This is a good time if you have a block to use your block. You can fold into the knees and into the tops of the thighs, the whole upper body. And you can use that block just to fold into, to land on, to press on. You don't have to. If you're not, excuse me, if you're not all the way down on the mat, if your flexibility is a little short today, and you're finding that this is about the distance that you can get, a block helps so that you can actually fully rest into this fold. So even though you're not all the way down, you can still rest into the fold a little bit better if you've got something to put your hands on. Now, it doesn't have to be a block. It could be your shins. So you can hang with pressing into your shins. You can hang pressing into your thigh. That way you can relax the upper torso and you can feel the stretch all the way down the backs of the hips and the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. 2 halfway lift. You're going to lead with your heart. It's as if something is pulling your heart forward. Press the shoulders back. And as you press the shoulders back, you're going to get a straighter spine. You can do this from the mat. You can do this from your shins. You can do this from a block. But you want to get a flat back, straighten the spine out a little bit. Take a deep breath in here. And exhale, fold all the way down, whether that's all the way to the floor or not, but all the way down and whatever that means to you. And if you're folded forward, your hands can rest on your thighs. You don't have to be totally connecting with the mat with your hands. Take a deep breath in here and exhale. Bend the knees, reverse swan dive all the way up, arms are out wide, palms together at the top. Exhale, hands to heart. Take a deep breath in, arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward, leading with the heart. The crown of the head comes down last. Plant the hands, step back into plank. Now plank can be low plank, and you can pull your feet up, be on your knees, or you can stay in high plank, whatever works for you. We're going to come all the way down on the mat. Either way, you're going to pull forward before you lower all the way down. The elbows are going to come in. Forehead kisses the mat. The hands should be right around between the rib cage and the shoulders. Inhale up into baby cobra. So you're working your torso. You're only lifting the upper part of your rib cage off the floor, the upper part of your chest. Exhale all the way back down. Inhale back up into plank or tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pedal it out. This one should feel a little bit different from the other one, from the first one that you did. Bend the knees, look towards the top of the mat. Slowly walk your feet to the top of the mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, whatever version you want. Using the shins, using a block, using the mat, using your thighs. But pull the heart forward and press the shoulders back. And then set your gaze, align your neck with your spine, and you're going to look straight down at the mat. Take a breath in here. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, stepping back into plank, your version. And then we're going to exhale, fold, lower all the way down. Inhale up into high cobra. Now, if this is pinching your back, your lower back, you can stay down in this version, or you can stay in baby cobra. Baby cobra is actually a lot more work. So whatever version works for you, either way, take a deep breath in and exhale, and then take another breath in, coming up into tabletop, then plank, then exhale into downward facing dog. Plant that left foot, put your weight on the left foot, take a breath in. On the inhale, lift the right leg up into three-legged dog. Exhale, bring it right back down. Inhale, lift the left leg into three-legged dog. Exhale, bring it back down. Bend the knees, look towards the top of the mat, and slowly walk towards the top of the mat. Exhale, fold. Your version. Inhale, halfway lift, leading with the heart, pressing the shoulders back, then aligning the neck with the spine, gazes straight down. Take another breath here. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, reverse swan dive all the way up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. We're going to come into, I'm trying to find my spot. We're going to come into a balance pose. So we're going to come into tree, and you might want, if you've got a thick mat, I have 2 mats here, so I'm going to step off of the thickest part of my mat and step onto just the thin mat. Sometimes it helps to keep your balance if it's not really cushy. You can even step onto the floor, and that will help even more. So bringing the hands to heart, we're going to come into tree. So put your weight in your left leg. Your right foot can either come into kickstand, you can put your foot on your calf, or you can bring your foot all the way up onto the thigh, wherever it works for you. Lower the eyes, lower the gaze, so that you can find your drishti, find your spot of focus. Take a breath in. On the exhale, open the arms. That's opening the branches wide. Take a breath in here. On the exhale, palms together and foot to mat. Let's switch to the other side. Take a breath in. Exhale. Now bring your foot to wherever you had it on the right side. Find your drishti, your focal point. Take a breath in. On the exhale, open your branches. Take a deep breath in here and exhale here. Inhale in. On the exhale, bring the palms together and the foot comes to mat. Come back to the top of the mat. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Now we're going to step back with the right foot. Lower the right knee. Bring the left hand to the left knee and the right hand to the left knee. And bring the arms up overhead on an inhale, and exhale, sink forward. We're just going to get a little stretch here in the legs. Take a breath in here, exhale, coming back down. The right foot is going to step up to meet the left. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Stepping back with the left leg, the left knee comes down, the right hand to the right knee, the left hand to the right knee. Bringing the arms up overhead on an inhale, exhale, sink into this stretch, this lunge. Take a breath in, and on the exhale, bring the hands down, and the left foot is going to come up to meet the right. Bend the knees, reverse swan dive all the way up, and exhale, hands to heart. We're going to set up for our warrior flows. So bring the hands to hips. Fix your pants if you need to. A lot of bending and stretching. So bring your hands to your hips. The right foot steps back into high lunge. So high lunge looks a lot like warrior one, but the heel stays up off of the mat. It's also called crescent lunge. Take a breath in. The arms come up overhead. Palms are facing each other. Exhale, you're going to sink into that high lunge. So you press that back heel down towards the mat, not on the mat. And you just lower your weight down through the center of your pose. Take a deep breath in here, and on the exhale, bring the hands to hips and step back up. Inhale in, arms come up overhead, and exhale, hands to hips. Stepping back with the right foot again. Inhale in, arms come up overhead. We're going to flow into warrior two. I'm going to have my back to you for the first one, and it might be a little easier to follow. So take a deep breath in. Moving into warrior two, we're going to rotate, pivot that back foot around, and the right arm is going to come back so that the heel comes down on the mat. The toes are going to point towards the long edge of the mat, and the front knee is going to press open and not collapse like mine was doing. And the toes point towards the short edge of the mat. Check your alignment of your arms. Set your gaze over the left fingertips. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, relax the shoulders. Let everything relax. Even though this is a powerful pose, it takes a lot of strength. You don't have to carry that tension too. We're going to flow. Inhale in. The right hand comes down. The left hand comes up into peaceful warrior. And exhale, we're going to flow into supported side angle. So that arm forearm is going to come down towards the left knee. The right arm comes up. You don't want to collapse onto this leg. You want to just use it as a guide, as a touch point. Your right arm can come back behind the back if it's a challenge to have with your shoulders to have your arm up. So let's flow. Inhale up, back into peaceful warrior. Left arm comes up, right arm comes down. Exhale, back into supported side angle. Inhale up, and exhale, supported side angle. Inhale back into warrior two, setting up to flow into warrior one. So take a breath in, and on the exhale, both of the arms are going to come back. You're going to step that right foot in a little bit, just enough that you can get that right heel down on the mat. The toes are going to point towards the right-hand corner of your mat, just a little bit of an angle in the foot. Take a deep breath in here. Might have to wiggle your feet around a little bit. Take a deep breath in, exhale, sink into warrior one. Now you can keep your gaze straight ahead if it's hard on your neck. Don't feel like you have to gaze straight up. Take a deep breath in here. On the exhale, the hands come to the hips and the right foot steps up to meet the left. Let's move to the other side. Inhale in, arms come up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart. Bringing the hands to hips, stepping back with the left foot. We're stepping back into crescent lunge. So the heel is still up off the floor. Take a breath in, arms come up overhead. Exhale, sink into your lunge. Take another breath in here and exhale here. Inhale in, flowing into warrior two. On the exhale, reach back with the left hand. That back foot pivots around. The heel comes down onto the mat. The right knee is pressing towards the right toes, which are lined up with the edge of the mat. You want your weight on the outside of your foot when you're doing the warrior poses, not on the ankle, but on the outside of the foot. That's where all the strength is. Check your alignment of your arms again. Take a deep breath in. On the exhale, relax the shoulders. Set your gaze out over the right fingertips. Take a breath in. Let's flow. On the exhale, the left hand comes back. The right hand comes up. Exhale, right forearm to right knee. Left arm up or behind the back. Yogi's choice. Inhale up. And exhale, supported side angle. Inhale up. And exhale, supported side angle. Inhale into warrior two. Take a deep breath in here and exhale here. Relax the shoulders. It's amazing how much tension just jumps right back up into those shoulders as soon as we take our mind off of not having the tension there. Take a deep breath in. We're going to flow into warrior one. So both arms come up. The back foot steps forward just a little bit. The foot is angled just a tad. Toes are pointing towards the left-hand corner of the mat now. Take a deep breath in. Might have to scoot your feet around a little bit. Exhale, sink into warrior one. This is a great back bend. You don't have to fold back this much. You can keep the spine a little bit straighter, keep your gaze a little bit more forward instead of up. Whatever works for you, listen to your body. Take a breath in, exhale, hands to hips. Left foot steps up to meet the right. Inhale in, arms come up overhead. Exhale, fold. Now this fold, check in with your body. It should feel really good. We've been doing some back bends. So we're going to stretch the lower part of the back out a little bit with these forward folds. Again, you can grab the backs of your thighs if you want to pull in a little more. Bend the knees, bend them generously if you need to get into this forward fold, because it really isn't about having straight knees at all. It's about how much relief can we get all the way down and all the way across the back. So bend the knees if you need to, so that you can more fully come into this fold and get the benefits of it. Inhale, halfway lift, leading with the heart, pressing the shoulders back, realigning the neck, gazing straight down at the mat. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, stepping back into your plank. Now we're going to do a little something here that might be a bit of a challenge. Take a breath in. On the inhale, lift that right knee and press it forward to the right elbow. Release it back. Inhale, lift that left knee, left elbow. Exhale, press it back. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale into downward facing dog. Press it out. Press the heels towards the mat. They don't have to land on the mat. Let the head hang loose. Take a deep breath in here and exhale here. Inhale in. On the exhale, release the knees. We're coming into tabletop. And then we're going to swing our feet around and we're going to sit straight forward. Sit straight up. Sit tall. Legs are straight. So to start, we're going to do something that's really simple. Well, it looks simple, but it is a bit of a challenge for a lot of people, and it's a really good exercise to help you remember to keep the spine straight when you're doing your poses. So we're going to put our hands back behind our bum, so the fingers are going to point towards the other end of the mat, whatever that's called. So use your hands to press the spine up straight. Take a deep breath in here and exhale, keeping the spine straight. Now release the hands, but keep the spine nice and tall. Bring the hands to the front. You can rest them on the knees. Take a deep breath in and exhale here. Inhale in, we're going to pull forward. We're not going to round over. We're going to pull the whole body forward. And if you need to put your hands down on the mat and use your hands to help you pull and to help you keep the spine straight, then do that. Take a breath in and exhale, pull forward as far as you can. Inhale in and exhale, pull forward a little bit more, or just hold where you're at. Take another deep breath in and exhale, relax, pulling forward, rounding the back, getting a good stretch. And coming back up to seated, we're going to set up for this is one of my favorite things. It's a supported side plank. And I'm going to do it with my back to you first. Sometimes it's a little helpful to see me the way that you would actually be doing it than to see me from the front and try to do the opposite. So left leg stays straight. The right foot is going to come in somewhere along the thigh, and you might end up shifting it around depending on how you move. So placement is not that important. It doesn't need to be all the way up. As a matter of fact, if it is, you'll probably have to move it, but everybody's different, so every body is different, so that might work for you. But anyway, place your right foot to the inside of the left leg, and you're going to take your right hand, you're going to put it somewhere back here, because somewhere back here, this hand and this arm is going to be support. We're going to lift, but the lift is not going to come from the arm or the hand. The lift is going to come from the legs and the hips, large muscles in our body, and it's not going to be very difficult to do. The challenge will be holding the pose, but this is a good way to start to gain the strength, to develop the strength to do a full side plank. So what we're going to do is reach forward very dramatically if you like, and you're going to swoop that left arm down across the front of the body. And as you do that, you're going to roll up onto the right hip. And as you roll up and lift that left arm, you're going to rise all the way up into supported side angle. Now, eventually, hopefully, you're going to be able to come all the way into a full side angle. And if you're there now, go ahead and get into that. But for now, this is a great way to build strength and to get used to doing a side angle. You should feel this pulling up along the right-hand side of the body. Take a deep breath in. On the exhale, we're going to come down the same way we came up. So the left arm is going to come forward, and then it's going to swoop around. The hip comes down, and then both feet come straight in front of us. Okay, let's do the other side. So the left foot comes into the right leg. The left hand comes behind the left hip. The right arm reaches forward. As you inhale, you're going to roll up onto that hip, swooping the arm down and back up into supported side angle. Now, make sure to press up and not let this part collapse. You want to pull up, and that's where the challenge is. Take a deep breath in here and exhale here. Inhale in. On the exhale, we're going to come down the same way we came up. So the arm comes forward and then it sweeps along. The hip comes down and the leg comes back out straight. Take a deep breath in and exhale. We're going to come all the way down onto our backs. So slowly lower down. And then I want you to pull the knees up into the belly, into the chest, but I don't want you to use your hands. So leave your hands down and pull the knees up. Now, when you get the knees up, I want you to kind of scoot around a little bit until you find that sweet spot that you're exactly in the middle of the small of your back, and it's pressing into the mat. And that should actually feel really good. Because again, we did some back bendy stuff. Wasn't really deep, but still, if you're not used to it, I mean, I'm used to it, and this still feels really good to me. So straighten the legs, pull the hands behind the knees or into the calves, and pull the legs forward. And then release, and let the weight of the legs come down and just hang heavy on the back. This is going to help you pull into the back without overstretching. Take a deep breath in here and exhale. Release the feet down to the mat. We're going to bring the right ankle over and rest it on the left knee. Take a breath in here, and on the exhale, drop that right foot over to the left. And as you drop it over, you're going to pull everything over with it and eventually let the leg collapse. Open up the right arm so you feel that stretch all the way up the torso. Take a deep breath in here. On the exhale, relax the clenching in that lower leg, which you probably are doing. Take another breath in and exhale, relax everything from the waist down. Relax the legs, relax the hips, relax the bum. Take a couple of breaths here. This should feel really good. Inhale, bringing the legs back up, all the way back up. Feet are on the mat. And exhale. Now, left ankle, right knee. Same thing, take a breath in. On the exhale, drop everything over to the right. And eventually let it all collapse and fold into a big puddle of legs. Open up the left arm. You can keep your gaze straight up, or you can look over to the left. Either way, take a deep breath in and exhale. Release the tension in the thighs. Release the tension in the ankles. There is such a thing. Take another deep breath in. everything from the waist down. Just let everything become a puddle. Take another deep breath in. And on the exhale, pull everything back up. Both feet are planted firmly on the mat. Inhale in, lift the legs again, pulling the knees in. This time you can put the hands on the shins and pull the forehead towards the knees, pull everything together. And exhale, release everything back down, coming into Shavasana. So for Shavasana, please don't skip this part. You're going to relax into the mat, let the feet fall open, get a blanket to cover up with if you need one, put something up underneath your knees if you have it and you want, or just lie there in this blissful state of nothing. You can just do nothing. That's what Shavasana is all about. So you're going to just lie there, and I'm going to hold space for you here as you have your Shavasana, your time of nothing, but it's a very important time because it really isn't nothing. Your mind, we hope, can go into nothing, but your body is regenerating from all the work that you've just done. Take a deep breath in. On the exhale, relax the shoulders. Let them sink into the mat. Take another deep breath in. Relax the muscles around the face, the eyes, the mouth, the chin, the jaw. Inhale in. And exhale, relax the hips. Let the feet fall open if they haven't. Let the hands fall open. Let them relax. And then follow your own breath into a restful state. We'll rest for 2 minutes more. Sometimes Shavasana is a good time to reflect. Think about why you came to yoga. Think about what you want to carry away from the class, this class, every class that you go to, whether it's in your home or somewhere out in the world, hopefully in the future. But it's a good time for reflection about positive things. Coming back into your breath, wiggle your toes and fingers. That helps to stimulate the nervous system and wake you back up. If you have time for a longer Shavasana, I encourage you to continue with your Shavasana. Certainly don't get up because this class is ending. And in my classes, I like to share words at the end. So eventually make yourself roll over onto your side and make your way up to seated. Maybe keep the eyes gently closed or the lids lowered just for a little bit longer. You can bring your hands to heart. And today I'm sharing something very similar in my mind to what I did in my last class, which was the complicated meaning or the complex meaning of namaste, which is simply put, I see the light in you, but namaste really means more than that. And ultimately what it means is that light in you is the light in me because we are all connected. And that's my simplified version of the complex meaning of namaste. And there's so much written on it that you could look it up, and it's kind of interesting. So today what I'm sharing is from an excerpt called The Wisdom of No Escape, and it's written by Pema Chandran, and this is just a couple of paragraphs out of this chapter. But to me, it speaks also to the idea that we are all one, and the thing that we're having to manage now in our lives with this challenge that we have. It is because we need to look out for each other, and we are all one. Whew. The wisdom of no escape. No matter what comes along, we're always standing at the center of the world, in the middle of sacred space. And everything that comes into that circle and exists there with us has come to teach us what we know. Thank you all for sharing your class with me and with everybody else that's out there connected today. Namaste. Go in peace and health. Thank you all.